I was going to ask you.
Thanks everybody, all the cameras ready? There are quite a few of us, so will you please just raise your hand to ask a question? Otherwise the floor is open for Proteas Test Captain Faf du Plessis. Yes, Alfred.
Do you have a team for us, Faf?
Not yet, Alfred, I'm sorry. We're talking about a few combinations. Not sure if you want to make a change yet, but if there is a change, there'll probably be one change, but it's still up in the talks.
Have you had a look at the pitch?
Yes.
And what do you think?
I think it's a very typical PA wicket. Touch on the slow side with a little bit of grass on it. So I think the new ball will be important. And then later on the test match will spin a bit, probably stay a little bit lower. Reverse swing generally plays a role here as well, but that is very depending on what's happening upstairs with the clouds and the moisture.
You say you're talking about a few combinations. Can you tell us which department that's in, or which side of the team you're looking at?
Yeah, it's obviously Temba and Tennis. Weighing up where Temba is coming from a long injury, coming from a layoff, whether he comes back into the team. So that's something we're talking about. And just from a bowling combination point of view, checking what can we do to always look to get wickets. So just the combination of the team with the balance and stuff. I would assume not more than one change.
Is Timber batting pain-free?
I think it's batting pain-free. It's just the power in the hand that it's still getting that back. Obviously, a little bit different to us with our finger injuries, that you can take your finger a little bit off the bat. Your hand is always on the bat. So, as far as I understand, he's playing free. It's just the power of the hand is probably at about 80%.
Okay, so again.
Faf, it's been a bit distracting over the past few days. How are you getting your team to focus? Because, I mean, if you look at the social media feedback, the fans just want you to win in Fiji.
I think it's the norm for me when you play against Australia. So it's just about getting us ready for a test match. It's a big game for us. We need to make sure that our cricket does the talking. We've spoken behind doors about lessons learned and just trying to improve them, because it's, as I said, it's big for us. We need to make sure that we get back in the series 1-1.
Yes, then?
You mentioned just there, and you mentioned a few times that you sort of expect this stuff when you play against Australia. Do you have less respect for Australia than you do for other teams that you come across because of the way they behave?
No. I think respect. I have a lot of respect for every single time, every team that we play against, and certainly the style of play that team comes with is probably the style of play they believe that they need to play at. So when you play a team like New Zealand, they're the nice guys. They're really friendly and they don't believe they need to play like that. And they're obviously a team that gets results in the way that they play. Us as a team, very similar. Me as a captain don't see much value in what you say on the field making impact on the performances that you do have as a team. For me, it's about focusing on what kind of presence you have as a team, what your body language is like, being positive. So it's not our style of play, but as I said before, that's probably that Australia believes that's the way that they are the best team that they can be, is by being that sort of team.
The Australian said beforehand, before the series, that with Kagiso having a couple of demerit points, that they would actually be taking note of that. I mean, is that with Warner on the edge now? Is that something that you were trying to provoke a reaction out of him?
I didn't think of it before the series, but I did hear that yesterday. It's probably a little bit smart by being like that. If you can entice someone to make a mistake, to get them missing the rest of the series, that's probably a tactical move. But before we came into the series, when I looked at all the demerit points, all of it was on the South African team side. There wasn't much on the Australian team. So now that it's happened, it's possibly an angle that we can look to get to. But once again, for me, it's more about your presence as a player than the stuff that comes out of your mouth.
After you spoke about how you need and play Australia player, and you said before you guys wanting to play the game hard, but Otis came out yesterday and he was questioning that mythical line. What is your stance on where that line exists and who creates it?
Yeah, once again, I don't think certainly as a captain of the team, we don't look to push that line. We don't look to find the grey areas. For me, it's very obvious. We try and play a positive brand of cricket with very good body language, intensity of you look the guy in the eye and you show them that you're here to play today and that you compete and that you try and win a game of cricket. If you look in the past, we're not a team that flirts with that line when it comes to vocals. So we just focus on trying to make the cricket do the talking.
You're speaking about the line. Does that line exist? Like, who owns the line?
I don't know who owns that line. Definitely not us.
How important is it for you guys as senior members to make runs rather than relying on the juniors?
Sorry, I just missed that part. Sorry.
No, I'm saying how important is it for you guys as senior members, to make runs rather than relying on the youngsters?
No, very important. It's always important. I'll be the first guy to always say that in big series you need your big players to stand up. So there's no doubt about the fact that big players didn't perform in the first test, and that's the reason why Australia won it. So it's as simple as that for me. It's not for me relying on youngsters to perform. For me, it's about you need everyone to step up to the plate, but especially in big games, you need your big players to score runs.
Ken, Peter, then Rob, and Tom.
Faf, given what's happened in the days after the Durban test, and particularly some of the sort of counter accusations from the Australians, what's the mood of your fast bowlers? Are they sort of eating raw meat and are you going to hold them back at all?
Yeah, I suppose it's been fun and games. Credit to you guys to making it a little bit more spicy. But certainly the mood in the camp hasn't changed much. For me, our style of play will be the same. Yes, it does make the blood pump a little bit because it makes you want to get back on the field and perform against a quality Australian team. But for me, it's what makes you best as a player. Every guy has something different that makes him tick. But the guys are ready to go for this test.
Yes, Peter.
The lead one, I think hopefully we can move on. But just one, what were you hoping to achieve by appealing against Queenie? I wasn't quite sure what the motivation was for that.
No, for me it was just more the stance of that for a long period of time. If you know Quentin's character, you know that he's a very, very quiet guy. He doesn't say a word. I struggle to get a word out of him on the field. So I know he's a very, very relaxed, laid-back guy. So the point leading up to that would have been a lot of stuff said to Quentin and a lot of personal stuff. Once again, that line with where personal is can be talked about. But I thought he actually handled himself well in terms of all the stuff that was said to him, and he walked off the field, and eventually he reached a point where he said enough is enough. And I think any guy in the world, depending on how far you push them, eventually they're going to say something back. So he said something back, and for me it was just for them to understand that there's a lot of things that happened before that moment, and I just wanted to get that point across to them to see if maybe they understand that that's the case. But according to them, your actions are still, at the end of the day, you need to be accountable for that, and that's fine.
I suppose you're talking about getting that point across. Is this like the chat you're going to have with Steve and the match referee, or hoping that drawing this line that you can get some common ground and say these are the things he said and this is why he said it?
Yeah, for me, it's as I said, I'm not expecting Australia to change their style of play. They're a team that's always done it, and they will always do it. They're not going to change that overnight. They've always had characters within their team, and it's not even the whole team. It's probably just 2 or 3 guys that always, you could see that's almost their job in the team, to go that route. So for me, it will just be to make sure that if you have guys in your team that are pushing that line, that as a captain, you make sure that you can keep them calm and that things don't get to a stage where they got to in the previous game. And if the captain's not close by, then that role will fall onto the umpires to make sure that if they see that there's someone that's continuously trying to get a reaction out of a player. I don't have an issue with chirping, not at all. I think chirping is good for the game. It's just what you say is, I suppose, where we talk about that line.
Oh, Fred, and then Khalid.
Well, this is one of those irritating cricket questions. We saw Aidan Markram play an innings that could find him at Kingsmead
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's massively a turnaround for Aiden. Everyone knows that he's a very, very quality or high quality cricketer. There were still critics out there that said he only performed against weak opposition. For me, if you score runs, you have to score runs against the opposition that you play. So we already knew that it was there. But for himself to get over that bridge to score a very, very good 100 in a high pressure environment just refers back to his character, and that's one of the reasons why we see the potential in him to lead the team because he's got that ability to take on more than most guys can. So yeah, it's really good for his own game and a future going for South African cricket.
I was going to ask about the umpires, but instead I'll ask about Dale Steyn. The last time he was here, had a bit of a great reverse swinging spell. And have you guys had contact with him and maybe spoken to him about conditions? And I don't know how close he is to coming back, but has he had any input so far?
He hasn't had any input towards the team. I think, I mean, there's quite a lot of knowledge in our dressing room with what is required for reverse swing bowling. As I said, for me, generally the big role that plays a part is what's happening upstairs. Generally, if it's cloudy and wet and overcast, it's tricky to get the ball to reverse. It's when you get that dry wind that blows across and the ball gets really dry, that's an opportunity to reverse swing the ball. So Dale is just a master of bowling with a reverse swinging ball, and there's only a handful of players, as we spoke about after the previous test. He's one of those guys that can rip through a batting attack and certainly the tail.
We get the last few covered and
So Faf, we saw him put in the tail end was in the last test.
Yeah.
I saw you giving some advice to KG and actually analysing Keshav. So how much input have you had on the batting style and also what advice have you given him?
No, I mean, we as a top seven also try and take learning of where we can get better and with the mistakes that we made and the things that we picked up. And there was a few things being discussed after the first innings, the learnings that we got from the mistakes that we made. So from my point of view, it's just important to try and get that across to the tail as well, you know, that these are the things we're working on as a top seven, and it's crucial that you understand what we're talking about, you know, and just explaining that to them in a little bit more basic terms, because batting sometimes can be very technical and you want to make it as simple as possible, especially for your bowlers. Just to have a clear game plan of what they're trying to do and practice like that, and hopefully if you practice that way, then it will be a little bit easier in the game.
yes, Ken.
Possibly just following on from this, but you mentioned the impact on Aiden personally of his innings, but for the team as a whole on that fourth day, batting so much better and actually dealing with Nathan Lyon and Mitchell Stark pretty well until, you know, right until the end.
Yeah.
How much of a lift has that given the team as a whole?
No, there was, I mean, although we lost the game, and it was very disappointing that we lost, but for me there was real positives out of that game. Australia is a team that do rely on how well Nathan Lyon bowls, and I feel as a South African team we've played him well in the past. Even both innings as he was going above 3, so that he's a massive weapon for them. So we got through that hurdle on a turning pitch. The learnings is obviously from Starkey's bowling. He bowled really well and he got the ball to tail. So the angle is more something we spoke about, as he comes from a really wide angle, wider than you would expect from a normal bowler, and it's just about making and adapting to that and try and counter that.
Thank you, Tabo. Afrikaans.
Yeah, Faf,
Die golfblad. I like soos 'n pea blad, bietjie gras op, bietjie groen. Ek dink dit gaan stadig wees. Hoopelik sal dit iemand soos Vernon in die span bring, want hy is baie goed as daar ietsie is. So ons sien uit, ek dink dit is die regte blad om op te speel.
So when you announce your team tomorrow, perhaps there could be some few adjustments, and then who has who must have exit?
Ja, ons praat net van wat is die beste vir die blad. Die PE blad in die kondisies wat dit gee om 'n span te kies wat ons dink die beste gaan wees vir die kondisies wat ons daar uitkry. So ons praat nog daaroor, ons nog nie heeltemal besluit nie. Ons het nog hierna gaan ons besluit daaroor. En wat is die ander deel?
Who must have exit?
Babuma se hand hy's baie beter. Die vorige wedstryd was hy nie reg nie, hy het nog pyn gehad. Ek dink sy been is, sy arm is, sy hand is beter nou. Maar daar is nog bietjie swakheid. Hy's so 80% van 100% af. So maar hy is reg om te speel. Die besluit vir ons is net om te maak of hy het lanklaas cricket gespeel en dis moeilik om net dadelik terug in te kom vir alles hy lank beseer was. So dis die besluit waaroor ons praat.